In a busy African city, a little boy lived. His name was Kale. Kale had no mother, he had no father, he was an orphan. The city was big and noisy, so many people walked by. Kale felt very small. He felt very alone in the crowd. He watched other children with their parents. They held hands. They laughed together. Kale wished he had someone to hold his hand. He wished he could laugh like that too. The sun was hot in the city. The nights were sometimes cold. Kale did not have a warm bed. He often slept in doorways. Or he slept under an old, torn blanket. Finding food was hard every day. His stomach would rumble with hunger. He looked for scraps. He hoped for a kind person. Some days were very, very tough. He missed having a family to care for him. He missed the feeling of being safe and loved. Kale saw many things on the streets. He saw rich people in fancy cars. He saw poor people struggling like him. He learned quickly about life. He learned to be careful. He learned to watch and listen. The city was a hard teacher, a very hard teacher indeed, but Kale was a survivor. He had a spirit inside him. It was a small spark then, but it was there, waiting to grow. He knew he had to be strong. He often looked at the tall buildings. They seemed to touch the sky. He wondered what it was like inside. He dreamed of a different life. A life with good food. A life with a safe place to sleep. A life where he was not so alone. These dreams kept him going. They gave him a little bit of hope. Even on the hardest days, Kale held on to these small dreams. He believed somehow things could change. Kale was small, but he was not lazy. He knew he had to work. He wanted to eat. He wanted to survive. So he started to look for small jobs. Anything he could do. He would offer to carry bags for shoppers. His arms were thin, but he tried his best. He would sweep outside shops for a few coins. The broom was almost bigger than him. He was a tiny boy with tiny hands. But his dreams were starting to grow bigger. Sometimes people were kind. A shop owner might give him a piece of fruit. An old woman might share her bread. These small acts of kindness meant so much. They were like sunshine on a cloudy day. Kale always said thank you. He had a polite heart. He learned that being good to others was important, even when life was not good to him. He remembered every kind face, every helping hand. These moments gave him strength. He saved every coin he earned. It was not much, just a little bit here and there, but he kept it safe. He found an old tin can. That was his bank. He dreamed of what he could do with more coins. Maybe buy a new pair of shoes. His old ones were full of holes. Maybe buy a warm blanket for the cold nights. He was learning the value of hard work. He learned that every coin mattered. His mind was always working. He watched how people made money. He saw street vendors selling their goods. He saw craftsmen making beautiful things. He thought, maybe I can do that too. He started to think bigger than just carrying bags. He wanted to create something. He wanted to build something. The spark inside him was getting brighter. He was no longer just surviving. He was starting to plan. He was ready for more. One day, Kale had an idea. He saw people loved fresh fruit juice, especially on hot days, but it was often expensive in the shops. Kale thought he could make it himself. He could sell it for a fair price. He used his small savings from the tin can. He bought some oranges and lemons. He found some clean bottles. He borrowed a small table from a kind shopkeeper he knew. He set up his first small business. He squeezed the fruit with his own hands. It was hard work. His hands got sore, but he was excited. He made a sign. Fresh juice, sweet and cold, it said. He smiled at everyone who passed by. Some people ignored him. Some people looked curious. Then a woman stopped. She bought a cup of his orange juice. She tasted it. She smiled. "This is delicious," she said. That was his first real sale. That first shilling felt amazing in his hand. It was more than just money. It was proof. Proof that his idea worked. Proof that he could do it. He felt so proud. He worked even harder after that. He got up early to buy the freshest fruit. He stayed late to sell every last drop. His little juice stand became popular. People liked his juice. They liked his smile. They liked his honest prices. He learned so much from this small business. He learned about buying and selling. He learned about talking to customers. He learned about managing his money. He still saved his coins. But now, he also put some money back into his business. He bought more fruits. He bought better cups. His tiny enterprise was growing, slowly but surely. Kale was no longer just a boy on the street. He was a young businessman. Kale's juice business did well, very well. He saved enough money to rent a small, proper stall. It had a roof. This was a big step up. He was no longer just on the side of the road. He felt a sense of achievement. He painted his stall bright yellow. It looked cheerful. He added more types of juices, mango juice, pineapple juice. People loved the variety. He worked from sunrise to sunset every single day. He faced challenges, of course. Sometimes the fruit prices went up. Sometimes other people tried to copy his ideas. Competition was tough. But Kale was smart, and he was resilient. He always found a way. He made friends with the fruit farmers. He got good prices. He always offered the best quality. He treated his customers with respect. His hard work and good attitude helped him overcome many obstacles. He was learning to navigate the world of business. He started to hire other street kids who were like he used to be. He gave them jobs. He taught them how to make juice. He taught them how to serve customers. He paid them fairly. He wanted to give them a chance he wished he had earlier. He remembered his own struggles. He wanted to help others climb up too. This made him feel good. It was more important than just making money for himself. His reputation grew in the market. People called him Kale the Juice King. He laughed when he heard it. He was still a young man, but he was building something real, something solid, brick by brick, shilling by shilling. His dream was no longer just about a warm blanket. It was about building a future for himself, and a future for others he could help. His heart was full of determination. Section 5. The Sweet Taste of Progress. Years passed. Kale worked tirelessly. His small juice stall grew into a chain of juice bars all across the city. He learned about branding. He learned about management. He was a natural entrepreneur. He always listened to his customers. He always tried new things. He introduced healthy smoothies. He offered snacks. His businesses thrived because he cared about quality and service. He never forgot his humble beginnings. He was making good money now. More money than he had ever dreamed of as a little boy. He could afford a nice apartment. He could buy good clothes. He could eat at good restaurants. But these things did not change him much. He still remembered the taste of hunger. He still remembered the cold nights. This memory kept him grounded. It reminded him of where he came from and the journey he had undertaken. One day he bought a small food processing company. It was struggling. He saw potential in it. He used his business skills. He invested money. He improved the products. He turned the company around. It became very profitable. Kale was no longer just Kale the Juice King. He was a respected businessman. He was creating jobs. He was contributing to the city's economy. His success was becoming more visible. He felt a deep sense of satisfaction. It was not just about the money. It was about building things. It was about creating value. It was about proving to himself that he could do it. He had faced so many hardships, but he had persevered. The sweet taste of progress was wonderful, but he knew his journey was not over. He still had more to do. He still had more to give. He was grateful for how far he had come. Section 6. Rich man, simple heart. Kale became a millionaire. His businesses were very successful. He owned many properties. He had investments. He was a wealthy man by any standard. People knew his name. They knew his story. From an orphan boy on the streets to a powerful businessman, it was an inspiring tale for many. He could have lived a very flashy life. He could have shown off his wealth. But Kale chose a different path, a path of humility. He lived comfortably, but not extravagantly. He did not forget the boy who slept in doorways. He did not forget the kindness of strangers. He started a foundation. This foundation helped orphans. It provided education. It provided shelter. It provided food. He wanted to give other children the support he never had. He visited the orphanages often. He talked to the children. He shared his story. He gave them hope. His heart was still simple and kind. He treated everyone with respect. His employees, his customers, the people on the street. He remembered that everyone has a story, everyone has struggles. He listened more than he talked. He was always willing to help. He never acted like he was better than others. His wealth was a tool to do good, a tool to make a difference. This humility was his greatest strength, even more than his business mind. People admired him not just for his riches. They admired him for his character, for his generosity, for his down-to-earth nature. He could have built high walls around himself, but he chose to build bridges instead. He remained connected to his community. He found joy in simple things, a good conversation, a shared meal, helping someone in need. Kale, the millionaire, still had the heart of the boy who just wanted to be loved and to make a difference. Section 7. A smile that changed everything. One afternoon, Kale was visiting a local market, not for business, just to walk around. He liked to stay connected to everyday life. He was looking at some beautiful handmade crafts. He was dressed simply, no fancy suit, no expensive watch. He looked like an ordinary man enjoying his day. Then, he saw her. She was at a nearby stall. She was selling flowers, and she had the most beautiful smile he had ever seen. Her name was Amara. She had a kind face, her eyes sparkled with warmth. She was laughing with a customer, her laughter was like music. Cale felt his heart skip a beat. It was a strange feeling. He was usually very focused, very composed. But her smile, her presence, it just captivated him. He walked over to her stall. He pretended to be very interested in the flowers. He was, but he was more interested in her. "These are lovely flowers," Cale said. His voice was a little shaky. Amara looked up. She smiled that wonderful smile at him. "Thank you," she said. "Are you looking for something special?" Her voice was gentle. They started talking. Not about business, not about money. They talked about flowers, they talked about the market, they talked about silly everyday things. Cale felt so comfortable with her. He had not felt like this in a long time. He bought a small bouquet of wildflowers. He could have bought her entire stall, but he just bought one small bunch. He wanted to see her again. He asked if he could come back. Amara blushed a little. She said, "Of course." As Cale walked away, he couldn't stop smiling. He knew nothing about her, except that she had a beautiful smile and a kind heart. And that was enough. Something told him this meeting was important. Section 8. Seeing Beyond the Shine. Cale started visiting Amara's flower stall often. He would buy flowers. He would chat with her. He never told her about his wealth. He wanted her to know him, just Cale. Not Cale the millionaire. He enjoyed these simple moments. They would share stories. They would laugh. Amara was intelligent and funny. She was also very hardworking. She grew many of the flowers herself. She had a passion for her work. Amara liked Cale too. She liked his kindness. She liked his gentle way of speaking. She saw that he was a good man. He listened to her. He remembered small things she said. He made her laugh. She had no idea he was rich. She just saw a man with a good heart, a man who seemed a little lonely sometimes, but also a man who was strong and thoughtful. She found herself looking forward to his visits more and more each day. One day, Cale decided to tell her. He was nervous. He worried it might change things. He invited her for a simple dinner. He told her his story, about being an orphan, about his struggles, about his businesses, about his foundation. Amara listened quietly. She held his hand. When he finished, she looked at him. Her eyes were full of understanding, and her love for him only grew stronger. It was not his money that impressed her. "Cale," she said softly, "your money doesn't change who you are in my eyes. I fell in love with your heart, with your kindness, with your strength, the boy who fought so hard, the man who helped so many. That is the Cale I love." Cale felt tears in his eyes. He knew then that her love was real. It was pure. She saw him, the real him. She loved him for his journey, for his spirit, not for the shine of his wealth. Section 9. Two Hearts, One Journey Forward. Cale asked Amara to marry him. He did it in a simple way, with flowers from her stall, and with all the love in his heart. Amara said yes. Her eyes shone with happiness. Their wedding was beautiful. It was not overly lavish. It was filled with joy, with friends and with family they had made along the way. The children from Cale's foundation were there. They sang songs. It was a celebration of love and hope. They built a life together, a life full of love and shared purpose. Amara continued with her passion for flowers. She expanded her business with Cale's support, but she also worked with him on his foundation. They became a team, helping others, spreading kindness. Their home was filled with laughter. It was filled with warmth. Cale finally had the family he had always dreamed of. He was no longer the lonely boy. Cale's journey was remarkable, from an orphan on the streets to a successful millionaire. But his greatest success was finding true love, and his greatest treasure was his humble heart. He showed that wealth does not have to change you. It can be a force for good. His story inspired so many people. It showed that with hard work, determination, and a kind spirit, anything is possible. Even for a boy who started with nothing. Their love story became a beacon of hope. It proved that true love sees beyond material things. It sees the heart. It values character. Cale and Amara lived happily. They continued to build their legacy. A legacy of love. A legacy of generosity. A legacy of hope. Their journey together was a testament to the power of dreams, the strength of humility, and the beautiful magic of a love that is true and pure.